So Ruslan Provodnikov defeats Mike Alvarado in 10 rounds to become the new WBO junior welterweight world champion. This was a good fight. It was a very good fight. A lot of people have got this as a fight of the year candidate. I'm not sure I'll go that far. I think we have seen quite a few better fights this year, but it was a very good fight nonetheless. Action-packed, exciting, value for money, etc., etc. And it was the fight we were expecting in terms of the pattern of the fight. Provodnikov came out from the opening bell, applying the pressure. Alvarado was on the back foot, sticking and moving, just like he was in the Brandon Rios rematch. I thought Provodnikov won the first round. I thought Alvarado won the next few rounds. I think the next 3 or 4 rounds I had Alvarado winning. And he was doing quite well, especially when he turned southpaw. That seemed to throw Provodnikov off. And he was actually landing some decent combinations out of the southpaw stance. So, he was doing well. But the pivotal moment in the fight, obviously during the whole fight, Provodnikov was applying steady pressure, landing body shots. So even in the rounds where I thought Alvarado outboxed Provodnikov was still, chipping away at Alvarado's resolve. He was still applying the pressure, making him move more than he wanted to move, just slowly working him over, even though he was, losing a few rounds here and there. But the pivotal moment in the fight came in the 8th round when Provodnikov dropped Alvarado twice. Now, Alvarado wasn't seriously hurt in either of those knockdowns. He wasn't seriously hurt. He was more overwhelmed by Provodnikov's attack. Provodnikov landed a good shot and then he just went flying in. and he just continued to rain down punches on Alvarado until Alvarado had to take a knee. And he took a knee twice. It wasn't that he really, like I say, was that badly hurt. But he was just overwhelmed by the attack. It was just too much, too many hard shots coming in. He had to go down. And that was the pivotal moment in the fight because he didn't necessarily break Alvarado physically in that round as much as he did mentally, because Alvarado never really recovered from that round mentally. Yeah, before that, Alvarado was in the fight. He believed he could win. He was still trying to pull off those stick and move tactics. He was fighting in the pocket in spots, and he was doing quite a good job fighting in the pocket. He did land some solid shots of his own. But spiritually, mentally, he was broken in that 8th round when he took those 2 knockdowns. Did I say it was the 7th before? If I did, I apologize. It was the 8th. But yeah, he suffered 2 knockdowns in the 8th, and that really broke him mentally. And he was never the same after that in the fight. And Provodnikov easily won the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th rounds. And surprisingly enough, at the end of the 10th round, Mike Alvarado actually quit on his stool. We never thought we'd see this, but he actually quit on his stool. And Ruslan Provodnikov became the new WBO junior welterweight champion. So excellent victory for Provodnikov. This makes Tim Bradley's resume look even better because this is yet another fighter who Tim Bradley has defeated that's gone on to become a world champion. He defeated Devon Alexander and he's since gone on to become a world champion at welterweight. He defeated Lamont Peterson. He's since gone on to become a world champion. And now he also defeated Ruslan Provodnikov, who has now gone on to become a world champion as well. So Tim Bradley's resume is looking crazy. I don't know why people have been sleeping on Bradley for so long. To me, it's ridiculous that people are only recognizing Bradley's boxing skills after the Marquez fight. That seems absurd to me because he's displayed his boxing skills in various fights throughout his career. But the reason I bring up Bradley is because a lot of people will be calling for a Bradley Provodnikov rematch now. I don't see that happening in the immediate future because Tim Bradley's a world champion at welterweight and Provodnikov is now a world champion at junior welterweight. So I'd be surprised if that happens in the immediate future. But you never know. I think it's more likely that we're going to see Provodnikov fight maybe the winner or the loser of the Pacquiao-Rios fight. Yeah, depending on how the fight goes, if Rios lasts 12 rounds and loses, but loses gallantly and gives a good account of himself, I could see Rios getting a shot at Provodnikov, and that would be a crazy fight. Imagine that. Imagine Provodnikov against Rios. That would be absolutely insane. You know, 2 guys with tremendous chins, 2 guys with relentless aggression and pressure and strength. Absolutely tremendous. You know, who would you pick in that fight out of Rios and Alvarado? I'd love to see that. But, you know, back to this particular fight, Alvarado against Provodnikov. going into the fight, I think the majority of the public, the boxing public, were actually slightly favouring Provodnikov. There was people out there favouring Alvarado. Me, myself, I picked Alvarado to win on points. I thought he might be able to survive Provodnikov's pressure. Even though I thought Provodnikov hit harder than Rios, yeah, as I said in my prediction video, I thought that Provodnikov wasn't as good at cutting off the ring as Brandon Rios. That's what I thought going into the fight, especially based on the Tim Bradley fight. Now, I know Tim Bradley's a lot faster on his feet and slicker than Mike Alvarado, no question about it. But Mike Alvarado's taller and has longer arms than, or at least he's taller anyway than Tim Bradley. I think he's got longer reach. So I thought that Provodnikov, just even though I thought he hit harder than Rios, I thought he wouldn't be able to cut the ring off well enough, or as well as Rios. And I thought Alvarado might be able to survive the pressure and take it on points. But it wasn't to be. And I was actually surprised and impressed by Provodnikov's foot speed. I thought his foot speed was tremendous. He stayed on Alvarado, didn't give him an inch. Excellent ability to cut off the ring. Definitely impressed with that. But I was actually a little bit surprised that when Provodnikov landed clean, that he didn't hurt Alvarado more than he did. So maybe I got it the other way around. You know, maybe Provodnikov's actually better at cutting off the ring than Rios, but Rios actually maybe hits a little bit harder than than Provodnikov. Because to me, Rios was able to hurt Alvarado more seriously than Provodnikov was. You know, he seemed to me to have Alvarado more genuinely hurt than Provodnikov did. So, you know, make it out what you will. But again, at the end of the day, it was an impressive performance by Provodnikov, and this yet again adds to Tim Bradley's resume. So, yeah, let me know how you felt about this fight. Did you think it was a Fight of the Year candidate? If not, what do you think were the fights of the year this year? Where do you think both of these fighters can go? A lot of people felt that the Rios fight took too much out of Alvarado, and that's why they were picking Provodnikov going in. A lot of people on Facebook told me that they thought the Rios fight took too much out of him and that he was finished. They also felt that Alvarado was struggling at the weight too much, and that would also play against him. Now, those things might have been factors in this fight. I'm not sure if physically Alvarado, you know, the Rios fight really took it out of Alvarado as much as spiritually. You know, mentally. I don't know. I just would rather give props to Provodnikov. I'm not saying the Rios fight wasn't a factor. Maybe it was, but, you know, I'd rather just give props to Provodnikov. I certainly didn't think his ability to cut off the ring was as good as he proved it to be in this fight. So hats off to Provodnikov. Good performance. And, you know, exciting times ahead, especially if, you know, he can fight the winner of Pacquiao Rios, or the loser of Pacquiao Rios, depending on how gallantly they lose. So yeah, hit me up in the comment section. This is Hatman. I'm out.